Well, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk on Win TV. I'm Denise Rollard Barnes, your host and publisher of the Washington Informer, and I'm so glad you joined us today. Today we are kicking off Mental Health Month as well as Older Americans Month. And I'm so excited for the guest that we have today, Dr. Darius Gaymon, also known as Dr. Renaissance, a local actor, singer, and playwright whose stage play Drowning explores the intersection of love and loss in a showing in DC by popular demand. We will also speak with Raymond Jetson, who launched in 2023 Aging While Black. We'll find out how this movement amplifies the value and experiences of Black elders by exploring the intersection of aging and race. And finally, Public Relations and Public Affairs Executive Raymond Bain, who was the former publicist for pop star Michael Jackson, will be joining us to talk about the biopic Michael, the film that arrived in theaters this past weekend at a box office record. It set a box office record of $97 million domestically and $270 million globally, according to Variety magazine. So Ramon has stories that will confirm and inform us about Michael's story related to his personal experiences, her personal experiences with the king of pop. Before we get started, however, I want to share a quick few updates for you to plan ahead and to be a part of the conversation in your neighborhood. So, as we welcome the month of May, we also acknowledge May 1st as May Day. Today is May 1st. Boy, this year is going by so fast. And May Day is a day that celebrates the resilience and contributions of workers everywhere. It's not just about history, it's about continuing the work to ensure dignity, opportunity, and respect for every worker today and for generations to come. So be on the lookout as you traverse the city today and other cities around the country for demonstrations and a rally here at the Washington Monument and across the city. May Day brings together union members, activists, and families that are demanding, among many things, tax reform, immigration rights or immigrant rights, and an end to certain ICE activities. I want to also say that today our reporter and videographer DeMarco Rush is at Ben's Chili Bowl, which is set, actually is probably reopening its historic U Street location right now. And we know it's going to be a party. The restaurant will honor co-founder and owner Virginia Ali, along with the Ali family, and they will be cutting the ribbon today. And the restaurant will open. Can you believe that? It'll stay open till 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, I don't know what its regular hours are, but it will be open all night, and I guess they'll let folks take a break and then they'll come back. I'm not sure if DeMarco is with us, but we do want to take a look at this brief video interview he did earlier this week about the restaurant.
Sorry, technical difficulties. We'll have to re-upload it.
Okay, well, let's keep going. Because we'll get back, because I tell you, it's an all-day party, so we'll get a little bit of the history of the restaurant, and then we'll be back. But tomorrow, the Washington Informer is co-partnering with a few organizations to host a U.S. House delegate and a mayoral candidates forum at George Washington University's Jack Morton Auditorium. The first forum begins at 12:15, and then the second begins at 3:45. Now, space is limited for in-person attendance, but you will be able to watch this forum on YouTube. I would also say that if you have some time, check out the Washington Informer online. We have a listing of every forum that we were able to get, and there are lots going on during the month of May. So check out the Washington Informer and see if there's one of the forums in your neighborhood or someplace nearby, or something you can also watch online, because we tried to put together as comprehensive a listing as we can. Tomorrow is also Events DC's Passport DC Around the World Embassy Tour. As part of the International Cultural Awareness Month, a lot of things going on this month. The first two Saturdays in May are devoted to embassy open houses. Did you know that there are approximately 175 foreign embassies in Washington, D.C. alone. So, Passport allows you to take a worldwide tour without even leaving the city, beginning at the University of the District of Columbia Student Center, which will serve as a focal point near Embassy Row in Upper Northwest. And it will feature performances, food, cultural displays from various nations, and what everything, a great experience. So that's your quick guide for the weekend. Oops, we have all kinds of problems today. So lastly, don't forget, don't forget that Sunday, May 10th is Mother's Day. The Washington Informer wants to celebrate the mother in your life. Just click, we're going to put something up. There's a link here. Click that link, complete the form, and you can also access this form on Facebook and at WashingtonInformer.com. Help us to help you to celebrate Mother's Day. No cost, just an opportunity for you to do a tribute to your mom that we'll publish selected ones in the Washington Informer and on our show next week. Don't worry, dads. We're going to do the same thing for you for Father's Day. This is just not a Mother's Day thing. We're going to do it for the moms and the dads. So look forward to getting those Mother's Day tributes and get them into us right away. As I say each week, pick up your copy of this week's Washington Informer at a newsstand near you. And you all know I like to, I think this is not it. But anyway, I like to show a copy of the paper, but that's a digital copy. Only I like to show it because, as you know, I think it's important for folks to know that we are still printing the newspaper. Some people ask, why are you all printing? You all still printing the newspaper? Yes, we do. Now I got my current issue. But pick up a copy at a newsstand where you can find more things about this, what's happening in and around the city. And if you can't get the printed copy, you can pull up the digital edition online by visiting our website at WashingtonInformer.com. And when you get there, please sign up on the website to become a subscriber. We certainly do want you to become a part of the Washington Informer family. Doesn't cost you anything, just your email address, and then we will have you on our list. We will share information with you, make sure you get our daily newsletter and other things that are going on. We have an amazing calendar listing, and so you might want to go to the website, figure out how you can get your organization posted on our calendar, which is updated every day. So look forward to that, and you can remember just to subscribe, to follow us on Facebook, IG, X, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Washington Informer TV. Okay, I've given all my commercials. I'm not sure if we are ready to show DeMarco's video, but we will come back to that when we have our conversation with Romaine Bain. I want to move on to our guests, and we're going to start with Mr. Jetson. I love that name, who is coming to us from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is the founder of Aging While Black. And I don't know, do we have something that we wanted to show with Mr. Jetson, or can we just bring him on?
AWB achieves its full vision, then Black aging in America will be defined by equity, dignity, and opportunity. Black elders will have the economic security, health care, and social infrastructure they need to thrive.
Where they speak to the lives they want to live, where they create the world that they want to live in.
So funders can get involved by investing in initiatives that center Black aging. Community members can join the AWB network and encourage other people to join the movement as well.
It's about growing old with dignity and with a sense of purpose.
Welcome to Let's Talk, Mr. Jetson. How are you today?
I am very well, all things considered. Thank you very much for the opportunity to join.
Looks like we're a little frozen here. We're having a connection. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. The camera's not coming up too well, but hopefully it'll lock in a few minutes. Tell us about Aging While Black. How did you decide to create this what you were calling a movement.
So, Aging While Black is deeply rooted in my own personal experience and journey. My father died at 55, and I didn't realize how young he was until the eve of my 51st birthday. I am also a caregiver for my now 92-year-old mom. Uh, I have reached my 70th birthday. And as I have spent time in aging spaces, I realize that there is this distinctiveness that is characteristic of aging while Black in America. And that voice, that narrative, was not present in many of the conversations that I was privy to. And so in 2023, along with my partner, Callie Johnson Graves, we launched this conversation around the distinctiveness associated with aging while Black in America.
Is a distinctiveness, Mr. Jetson? What do you think is so different about being Black and aging than any other ethnic group?
Well, first of all, it's important to know that aging in America is not race neutral. That when you look at the realities that people experience as they age, uh, the lived experience of Black elders is an outlier in so many areas, whether it's net worth, whether it's economic security, whether it's the prevalence of dementia and other chronic disease, whether it is, fill in the blank. As I oftentimes say, Ms. Barnes, the Black experience in America has been different from the moment we got here. Why would it not be when it considers the matter of aging in America? The only, I wrote a book, Aging While Black, A Radical Reimagining of Aging and Race. And the only theory of gerontology that I mention in the book is the one of cumulative advantage and disadvantage. And what the theory argue is that both advantage and disadvantage are cumulative over time. And so if you start from a place of advantage, by the time you reach old age, that advantage has grown.
Mm.
If you start from a place of disadvantage, by the time you across the lifespan, that disadvantage is compounded. And who more than Black people have faced systemic and societally reinforced disadvantage than Black people? And so, in my opinion, it's ludicrous to think that we would show up at old age and all of us be well.
You know, my dad. We've. I feel like we have walked the same paths in our lives. My dad died at 67. I was thinking about that the other day, and to me that was young. But he was one that always said that Social Security was not set up for Black people because they always died before they reached that age. However, we are finding that people are living longer, but I think what you might be speaking to is the quality of life and not necessarily the years. Is that correct?
Well, yes, and there's a real difference between life expectancy or the number of years I live and my lifespan, the quality of life that I experience. Just personally, my mom fell 2+ years ago, damaged her back, now ambulates with a walker, has other health complications associated with that. I think if you ask my mom if she wanted to live another 10 years like this, her answer would be an emphatic no.
Mm,
So it's not just about how long we live, it's the quality of life that we live.
correct.
Dr. Peter Attia wrote the book Outlive. And I was watching an interview, and he said the most important question that we can ask ourselves is, what do I want to do in the last 10 years of my life? And the earlier we ask that question and begin to do the things that position us to actually achieve those things in the last 10 years of our life, the better off we'll be.
It's interesting because I think today, we both talked a little bit about longevity. It's hard to pinpoint when those last 10 years will be, right? So you're just saying to pick a moment in time. It might be 70, it might be 60, it could be 65, it could be 80, right? And you're picking a moment in time and saying, at this point, I want to figure out what these last 10 years are going to be. But I mean, that's what I'm asking. Okay.
No, it's actually just the opposite.
Okay.
Because as a very brilliant sister in Atlanta said to me, aging is a verb. We are all doing it, but unfortunately, we have allowed aging to describe this people who have reached certain chronological milestones. What I argue is that at 25, it would be helpful to ask, what do I want to be able to do the last 10 years of my life? Whether that's from 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100, what do I want to be able to do and to begin to live, plan, design, learn, execute so that I'm actually in a position to do that. I don't think we can wait until later in life. As a matter of fact, one of this radically reimagined perspectives on Black aging that we put forth is that it can't just be about the silent generation or baby boomers, that we have to begin to look at aging as this collective experience that happens across the lifespan so that we connect and capitalize on the benefits, the skills, talents, and abilities that every generation brings to our collective well-being.
So that's a good idea. I mean, to plan that last 10 years. But are there other tools that you recommend or suggest when you speak to folks? And I assume I have you talked about Atlanta. I know you're going to different places around the country talking to folks about this. But what is I guess the deepest message you try to get to folks to help them to begin to think of aging as not a negative, but it's a verb, like you said, it's something we're all doing. But what is that one or two things that you think people ought to do besides planning those last 10 years?
So that the Aging While Black, the movement, is built upon three pillars. Okay. The first is recalibrate the village. And the assertion there is that the infrastructure that supports Black life is ill-equipped for the sea change in aging that has already happened. And so the anchor institutions in Black life, it's imperative that we begin to rethink how we exist and how we present based upon the significant number of older Black adults who are going to show up in our spaces, whether that's a congregation, a mosque, a Greek letter organization, a business. We need to really think about what that village looks like in 2026 and beyond. The second pillar is embracing innovation and rapid change. We are in a world that is increasingly digital. How do we capitalize on that capacity to improve the quality of life and connectivity of older Black adults? And then the third pillar is leaning into the spirit of Sankofa. If we're going to have this reservoir of experienced, accomplished older Black people in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, how do we maximize the benefit of that to strengthen not only our present, but the future of Black people in America? And so that's the heart of the Aging While Black movement. The fundamental argument that we make is that we are going to have to radically shift the narratives about Black aging and the ecosystem that supports aging in America, because much like your father said about Social Security, we are aging in systems that were not designed with us in mind.
That was the question. That's exactly where I was going to go next. I mean, we have a mayoral election that's coming up here in Washington D.C. A lot of positions are opening up, and people are running for offices. And I noticed that a lot of questions that at these candidates forums, people are asking about public policy. What are these politicians committing to make quality of life better for people aging in the District of Columbia? And I'm sure these conversations are going on all across the country. What kind of recommendations do you have to some of these policymakers to change sort of, like you said, the paradigm or the existence of what needs to happen to make aging in America, particularly aging while Black?
Yes,
that-
because my experience is grounded in the Black lived experience.
Yes.
And I also think that when you examine the data, it clearly puts forth the case that the systems currently in place, largely considered, are not working well for Black people. And in my opinion, it would be ludicrous to think that that's going to change without a fundamental shift that occurs. I think that there are a couple of things that are really critical. First of all, recognizing that these systems are not culturally attuned. They are not designed with the Black lived experience in mind. And so a fundamental shift that needs to occur is centering the voices of Black elders. It's wonderful to have advocates. I believe that we've arrived at a point where we need activists. And so how do we position older Black adults to tell their own stories and to demand their own scenarios and to describe and to become architects and co-contributors to the world that they will live in and the systems that they are expected to navigate? One of the observations that I have that is consistent across this country in states and local governments and in national systems is that systems are fragmented. They deal with one little piece of life. Well, people don't live in fragments. And so it becomes incumbent upon people to navigate these broken and fragmented systems rather than challenging the systems to be connected and to work in more concert. And so I think it is about placing Black voices in critical positions rather than looking to others to advocate on their behalf. You know, there are lots of folks, many of them well-intentioned, who are advocates for Black elders. I think we've arrived at a point where Black elders need to be their own activists. And, you know, the realities of our generation, my dear sister, and the generations above us, is that we are children of activism. We understand what these moments demand and require of us, and that is a fundamental shift that has to happen.
You mentioned, just a couple more questions before we go, Mr. Jetson, but you mentioned Greek letter organizations. I know a lot of people are members of quote unquote, you know, AARP, different organizations, church organizations that I think support the elders in the community and you know, and advocate on their behalf. But is Aging While Black one of those institutions that people can become a part of? You know, is there a membership, or when you say a movement, how do people connect to this so that they can become those advocates for themselves?
So they can go to agingwhileblack.co, and there is an opportunity to connect with us. And also on June 17th, we are having a national convening where we are bringing together folks from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles, from Chicago to Atlanta, and that we've connected with. We work in what we describe as two dimensions, the horizontals, where we create virtual platforms focused on caregiving, economic security, connectedness and wellness, and policy. We also work vertically, so we are active in Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, where we are building networks of folks. We have a wonderful hub of people focused on public policy in Washington, D.C. We are inviting everyone to come to this space so that we can connect, know who's in our communities, and begin to build these communities where we can activate ourselves in a similar way. There isn't a membership, there's an opportunity to connect and to be a part of the movement.
And where is this event going to take place?
It is a virtual one. And so if you go to agingwhileblack.co, you will see an opportunity to register for the June 17th virtual. It's described as the network convening. But also on the website, you can look at the work that we are doing in these areas and connect with us. So you can join in. For example, one of the conversations around caregiving or wellness and social connectedness or economic security or policy, if these are things that are of interest to you.
Ultimately, Mr. Jetson, what is it that you hope this movement will accomplish? I mean, I know it's multifaceted, but name, one or two things that you think engaging in this movement will achieve.
One, we want to be constructive disruptors of the status quo as it relates to aging in America and the ecosystem that supports aging in America. These systems, whether it's local aging services, whether it's aging service providers who are in communities, whether it's policymakers in states and local governments, these systems are not designed in culturally sensitive ways. And so we believe that it is critical that they are constructively challenged to recognize that this narrative of Black frailty and need and brokenness is not the model that serves the interest of Black people. Yes, we have challenges, but we also have strengths and abilities and wisdom and have navigated challenging circumstances. And our lived experience needs to be understood and respected in these systems, and that doesn't happen without our presence and our voices. And so if we are wildly successive or successful, places where decisions are made will be filled with the voices of Black elders co-creating the world they want to live in.
And my last question, Mr. Jetson, is places where our elders live or in their, many of them are in their homes, right?
Yes.
And so what is there anything in the movement that talks about how, because there's some cultural things that we've lost, right, by being here in this place, that people that look like us in other countries have adopted. You talked about Sankofa. What would one thing you would say, just even within the home, should people pay attention to achieve where you want the movement to go? What is it that we should do individually?
Rediscover intergenerational conversations. Get to a place where we have family, neighborhood conversations that include the elders and the young. In my office, I have a picture of my great grandparents, and I write about them early in the book. I grew up next door to my great grandparents. Some of the most important lessons that I learned in life, I got sitting on their front porch, listening to them talk, and at family gatherings where they were sharing the stories of our family and how to thrive in the midst of challenging situations. We can't afford to be separated by generations and by age. These times are too serious, and the strengths that we all bring together are too potent to be left aside. And so, rediscover how to connect across the generations is a simple but potent strategy that we can all employ.
Mr. Jetson, I want to thank you so very much for being with us. That couldn't have been a better way to start, even though, it's like Black History Month. Older Americans Month is a month, but this is a movement. This is a 365-day movement of
Yes.
embracing our elders. And I can't think of a better way that we could have at least sparked that conversation with you than here today. And so I appreciate you being with us. Let me ask you the last question. I'm like the Baptist preacher right now. I got one more. Your book, how can people get that book?
So it is available on the Aging While Black website. There is a tab that says the book, and you can order it there online. You can order just a copy, or there's an opportunity to order a signed copy also.
Wonderful. Okay, look for my order soon.
Thank you
All right.
very
Thank
much.
you for being.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh no, we appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. You too.
All right. Yes, again, that was Mr. Raymond Jetson, who has launched the movement, Aging While Black. I enjoyed the conversation. I hope you did. And I hope it sparked some things that, we just think about in our community. And this is also, we talked about not only Older Americans Month, but this is also Mental Health Month. And that's why we're really excited to have Dr. Darius Gaymon with us, who is a playwright, author, singer, you name it. He's done a lot of things, and there's a play that's coming to Washington, D.C., well, going on right now in the Washington, D.C. area. And he's here to talk about that. Again, do we have any video? If not, can we just bring on Dr. Gaiman?
You know, nothing is going to take my love.
What happens when love is confronted with loss?
Am I happy, Nikki?
Are you?
No!
Who do we become? What decisions do we make? How do we cope? Tickets are now on sale.
Wow, nice to see you, Dr. Gaiman, otherwise known
Hello.
as Doc. How are you?
Just fine, just fine, just fine. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Thank
Made
you.
it.
Same to you. Welcome to Let's Talk. This play is called Drowning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I don't want to give much away, but I do want you to shed a little light on what drowning is about and why people need to come see this.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So drowning really sits at the intersection between love and loss. Not to go too deep into the play, but it starts most certainly with my character Mac and my wife in the play Nikki. We have a stillborn, and then the losses compound as I lose my job, and her sister goes through uterine fibroids. So we, as a family unit, are really trying to cope with the insults of life. And I named it drowning because at a certain point you will see that we aren't necessarily doing so well. We're doing our best, but it's not working out so well. And then you see, like, particularly from the clip, that there are some decisions that we make. Either in the clip you see that I have a bottle of alcohol, so my character goes into alcoholism, and then there's also a therapist. So there is a lot going on, but again, it centers right at that place of love and loss. And why you should see it, it is Accessible. It's one of those things we want people in the audience to have the opportunity to see themselves or see people that they love in the characters that we portray. We mentioned that it's inspired by real events. That is absolutely true. I'll be transparent and say that my character um, in the play was a lot like something I had gone through in life. I was supporting someone, a loved one at the time, who was going through a lot of grief, and to stay in that place of support, I kind of went to alcoholism. So who I play as Mac in the play is a character that I have experienced as well.
Well, it's not an unusual story, and it's when we think about particularly what's going on right now, where people are losing jobs and uh, places like Washington D.C., where we have a high infant mortality rate, and women that are having problems, with pregnancy, and I mean, all of this is real life stuff. And you do wonder how, when it's compounded, how people get through it. And that's why, I guess we're acknowledging Mental Health Month, because I don't know if this play offers some solutions, but people need help.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you make a good point. Like, oftentimes it is easy to deal with one problem, but when it's one problem and this thing happens and the next thing happens, it really does compound, and you have to figure it all out. So, absolutely, we demonstrate, as I said, like, my character goes to the bottom a bit, and in the space of scenes that are with therapists. So there are some therapy scenes that intention and what he's trying to do to cope comes out, and then there are some better alternatives. And so we this fits Mental Health Month because of, really, like you said, how accessible it is, and how the decisions that are made in the play are some of the decisions that people will make in real life. But we also offer positive directions, like support from your family, support. My character has a strong conversation with his father. Nikki's character has a strong conversation with her mother. So the support systems, the healthy support systems that allow you to make good decisions, is another good avenue that we really lean into in addition to therapy.
Well, I like the idea that's unique to me. I mean, that you bring the therapist into the story, because, say black women, will talk their problems out with therapists. Black men, generally speaking, I know this
Hmm.
is generalization here, but, don't feel like that's the door they want to go into. So why did you decide to include that in
Agreed.
the play?
Agreed. I wanted to give, a lot of times when you see loss, particularly with the family unit, you see it from the perspective of the mother. And we honor that, but I wanted to actually show the perspective of a father intending to be a father and suffering the loss
Mm.
of that fatherhood, the idea of fatherhood being removed, while still trying to hold the family unit together. So this play, while most certainly honoring the space of maternal loss, gives a unique perspective into paternal loss, and how that, how that can happen in a way that we don't often see it. So I wanted to put that in because, like you said, it is a bit of a stigma when it comes to, one, mental health, and then men in mental health. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to show that that is a viable avenue, a good choice you can make, and one that doesn't challenge your masculinity or challenge your position in the family. It is one that actually will, like, bolster your position in the family, because you'll be a more complete, stronger man as a result.
Yeah, I know. I personally know of a friend whose wife lost three children prior to birth, and one of his challenges was, like you said, what he was going through, but also how he could be supportive of her. Now, I'm happy to know that, to say that they have a wonderful baby boy and life seems to be fine, but it was a challenge. I could see it.
Yes, like, yes, I'm glad that wasn't the end of the story. Yeah, yeah.
No,
That's beautiful.
they're
I'm glad
beautiful
that wasn't
couple.
the end of the story, but, and yeah, like, to be suffering your own loss, but witnessing the loss, like the grief of your spouse, like, that
Yeah.
is, it's two things that, to deal with, and also, on the mom side, to be witnessing the grief of your husband while also suffering your own maternal grief. Like
Right.
that's two things. And so again, we add that to the loss of the job and dealing with the sister, the health issues of the sister. It really becomes like a rich story that we are able to flesh out, and we do it with it's acting, music, live singing, spoken word, dance. So it's not a heavy thing, because you don't leave it feeling heavy as we go through the heaviness.
That's good. That's good. So where can people go and see the play?
Come on out. So we are touring right now. In the DMV. Our next stop is Indian Head Black Box Theater. That's going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We go up to Baltimore for Arena Players on the 16th, and that is the last stop of the tour for Drowning. I will say that we did Drowning in 2023 and 2024, and the audiences, thank you all for coming out. The audiences, I intended to end this on a cliffhanger. I was completely fine. I'm the youngest of three kids. I'm fine with a little mischief. And the audience said, absolutely not. We are too invested. We need to know how you end this, not how we were going to end it. So that has led us to the final chapters that we're going to debut on June 6th at the Public Playhouse. So everyone who's seen Drowning, come on, see how it ends. And that section of the play is called Till Death Do Us Part.
Oh, wow. So now, if you haven't seen, because I confess I haven't seen the first chapter, uh, do I do I need to see that before I come to see the final chapter? How does that work? Because I
I
could.
would recommend, just so you, again, it's a rich story, so you want to see the spaces. Now, we are intending to. There's a recap, like a previously on X-Men type thing. So there is a recap for those people who are not able to see Drowning. When you come on June 6th to see Till Death Do Us Part. So we do recommend for the richness of the story, but it's not a must.
So before we go, I want to know a little bit more about you. We talked about the play.
Yeah,
You are from the DMV, correct?
absolutely. Yeah, I born in DC, raised in Maryland, went to Suitland High School. Shout out to the Rams. And that's kind of the reason that we started this here. While we're doing a local tour. And we actually, the first place that we did it was at Creative Suitland, in Suitland, Maryland. So yes, I'm from this area. Um, and I mentioned the doctor part. The doctor part is real. I have a PhD in tumor biology, so I did cancer research for a number of years, and actually a videographer did a documentary on my life as an artist and a scientist.
Wow.
That person named me Dr. Renaissance, and that is how the name Eve, sort of the origin story of the name, and I just sort of shortened it to Doc to make it easier.
Dr. Renaissance, that's amazing. That's amazing background. I mean, I guess the talent part, the creative part was always there. That's the thing about, our personality. So many of us, we take one path, but there's always another one just sort of lingering back there waiting for us, waiting to be noticed. And I guess that sounds like what happened.
Absolutely, and I will say, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Forgive me. I will say, yeah, that's kind of the crux of the documentary. I've lived this life, kind of arts and science, throughout life, and I've loved it. And I don't really like to choose one. I really like to go with both directions. So yeah, I've loved this left brain, right brain connection all the time. And actually, if I may, I want to very much so thank my cast. I want to thank the crew. I want to thank the publicists. Without you all, none of this would be possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you. I appreciate you.
Wow, yeah, because you didn't do it all by yourself, and so yeah, you got to give folks credit where credit is due. So,
Oh no, no. Oh no.
exactly. So, I'm excited. So we know that this is coming. Actually, folks can go see it soon. What else are you working on?
Hmm. A couple of things. So we I've also generated a murder mystery. It's a much lighter material, right? Like everyone loves a good who done it. So
Right.
that debuted in let's see, that debuted in April, and it's going to be coming across to restaurants in the area. And then we also put on, if you like, it's a very old film, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We
Yes.
also have recreated a shadow cast performance of that called the Neapolitan Rocky Horror Experience. We just did that at BlurredCon for the first time, BlurredCon 2026, and so that's going to be coming across. We typically will do it around October in the Halloween time frame. So we do have a few, like a thank you for that, few performances, a few presentations that we have, and right now it is the more heartfelt one, and that's Drowning Until Death Do Us Part.
Okay. All right. Well, one day I guess we'll hear your voice because you sing. So I guess we'll be able to purchase songs by Dr. Renaissance. Has a wonderful voice. So,
Come on out to the theater. Come on out to the
oh, we'll get to
theater.
hear you then, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank you for joining us, for sharing this with us. This is Mental Health Month, and I think, sometimes going to a place where you can see stories being told and how people resolve issues on stage in music, it's very helpful. A lot where a lot of us learn and experience, just options that we have in life. So I want to thank you for producing this play, and I wish you the best of luck.
We thank you. I just give you a little snippet right
Thank
there. We thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for all that you do for the community. We appreciate it. And yeah, come on out to the theaters and see us, folks. We'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Renaissance. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye bye. So we're not done yet. I certainly did enjoy the two conversations we've had. But I'm gonna tell you what else I enjoyed. Last Sunday night, I went to see Michael. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this film, but you got to go see it. You got to go see it. And I have been singing and dancing and watching these crazy videos of people reenacting some of the dance roles that Michael played. Jafar, his nephew, is amazing. He's amazing. And so, if Ramon Bain is here, I would certainly love to talk to her now about that experience. If not, maybe as she joins us, because I know she's down there at Ben's Chili Bowl, and so it's probably hard for her to break away. But Ramon, for those who don't know, has been the publicist for so many amazing people, including DC Mayor Marion Barry, and she's worked with Cora Barry and others. But she was also a publicist for Michael Jackson, and she doesn't really talk about it as much as she probably could. You would think that she'd be talking all the time, but she did work with Michael, and she's kind of given us a sneak peek of some of the things that Michael has done. I saw her on another show this weekend when she talked about, Michael's attitude about not letting people were thinking that he was poor and out of money, and he did a couple things intentionally, but he had a reason for it. Just some stories that you would never have thought about or knew, because we weren't Ramon Bain. We weren't there with him. So if she's not here with us right now, we'll get her back a little later. We might want to hear from you all. If you are online or want to send us your own critique of the film, you can send that to us at news@washingtoninformer.com. We would love to get your feedback on the film. If you haven't been to see it, go see it, y'all. I don't care how much money they already made. I mean, it's a high movie price, but go see it. I actually saw it in, what's that called? With the big screen.
Okay. A pioneering entrepreneur
Go ahead,
and
Ramon.
cultural icon. Hello.
afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So,
Thank you for compromising today because I'm here at the grand reopening of Ben's Chili Bowl.
yeah.
So I'm sorry that there's so much in the background.
Well, you're where you need to be, so that's okay. That's quite all right. We were. You got a few minutes to talk.
Hello, you're breaking up.
Yeah. Do you have a few minutes to talk?
She said, do you have a few minutes to talk?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sherry might have to be our interpreter. So we were talking about the film, Michael. But tell us a little bit about your relationship with Michael.
Well, I met Michael many years ago, but I didn't work for him. I was down in Atlanta with Muhammad Ali. He was being honored by the Georgia State Assembly. He asked that I take him over to see his friend Jimmy Carter, whom I worked for and whom I moved to DC with back in 1976. When we got over to the Carter Center, after the meeting, President Carter pulled me aside and said, Ramon, I'd like to meet Michael Jackson. I said, I don't know Mr. Jackson, President Carter. And he says, well, when has that ever stopped you? The rest is history. I called out to Michael's office, and from that call came Heal LA, Heal Atlanta. And if you recall, they had a press conference at the Omni down in Atlanta to talk about their partnership on child immunization and other things. Then later on, I took Serena Williams out, she, Venus, and her family, to meet Michael. Serena won, in fact, the WTA Tour Championship the next day, beating Clijsters. But while we were there, Serena and Michael said, well, you all seem very close. Are you family? Serena says, no, but she's my publicist. And he says, oh, I have 6 publicists. And Serena says, what? 6 publicists with the bad press that you have? You need to fire them and hire her. That's a true story.
Wow.
From that, he began calling, and he called when he was arraigned. He called from jail. He called when there was an issue with blanket over the balcony, and he called when there was an issue with an interview that he was having with my friend Ed Bradley. And at the time, I wasn't officially working, but I was offering my advice when he would call. And so the next time we spoke, he said, well, Ramon, would you consider becoming my PR person? And I said, yes, I'd be honored. And therein started our journey. It was about, I guess, 2000, 2001. And it was a, wonderful experience. He was a really, really good person who exuded a lot of character and strength. The more people beat him down, the stronger he became, because what people don't really know is that he has a great spiritual strength and belief. And I'm sorry for all of the clapping in the background, but one of the things, misconceptions, one of the misconceptions was that he was weak, but he is not weak. And I am happy that the film is showing the power he exuded on stage.
Hold on a minute.
So many things, huh?
Hold on a minute.
I think what I'd like to do, Raymond, because we're catching a lot of what you're saying, but I think I want to reschedule, see if I can get you back on when exciting news is happening in the center of our city. So can we get you back on a little bit later? Can we reschedule?
We're going to reschedule you.
Huh?
We're rescheduling.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much. All right. Yeah. It's hey, she's at Ben's Chili Bowl. I mean, how do you not pay attention to that historic moment, despite, you know, the relationship that she wanted to share. And I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I don't want it to be interrupted by background noise. So we're going to get Ramon Bain back on. There's some things that she said that I'd like to ask her some questions about, some things that showed up in the movie, her perspective on the film. And by that time, we may have heard from you all to see if there are any questions that you may have. So with that, we're going to wind up our show today. I want to thank you all for joining us, as well as our guest, Dr. Darius Gaymon, Raymond Jetson, and of course, Ramon. And two more things. One, I want to just post the Mother's Day ad that we have, because we certainly do want you all, one, not to forget that Mother's Day is coming up on May 10th, but we want to get your tributes to the mothers in your life by this Wednesday, May 6th. So you can click on to this image right here. There's a form. You can fill it out, upload a photograph of a mother that you want to pay tribute to, and we will make sure that that happens next week. So again, thanks for watching. But before we go, we're going to end with the video. Since we are celebrating the renovation of Ben's Chili Bowl, we're going to start with the video from our videographer and photographer, DeMarco Rush. And after that, so long.
We can't wait for Mom to see it. This is all for Mom, and so for her to be alive to see us kind of bring it back, restore it to its original glory is going to be very exciting. This was really about trying to take care of our guests the right way, because the building is old, everything was old, and, you know, that was fine until things started to fall apart, you know. So at a certain point it rained, we have leaks happening, we got to put buckets out. We had the electricity, you plug one thing in, something else goes down. The HVAC wasn't working right, so we really wanted to take care of everyone by getting things right. So this closure was huge. After 67 and a half years, we've never closed in all that time. All of a sudden, we're closed for the past, since July.
The community loved Ben's so much is what it's made Ben's today. So from the family, we will forever be grateful for the love and support we have received, and Mom has received now for 67 years.
I am so happy that they were able to renovate the old space and to keep it going for generations yet to come. Before I moved to Washington, D.C. in 1972, I knew about Ben's Chili Bowl. So that was one of my first stops that I really wanted to make when I moved here.
And Mom is now 92. So you guys will all be seeing her for the reopening. She has not seen the space, so she will be walking in and seeing it for the first time on Friday. I think Friday belongs to all of us. I think it's community pride, it's DC pride, and I can't wait for Mom to see it, because that's the most important one to me right now.